Coming up on Double Take Sports Talk, we will update you with headlines and news, matchups to start off the week in the NBA. That is next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. Darrell, on the opposite side, say hello to Darrell to everybody.
Hello, welcome to the show. We're here.
We're here. All right, man. You doing good, man? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man.
Okay, man. We got some things that we need to cover here this week in the NBA. Man, you ready to rock this one?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the final scores and stats for the previous nights. There, it's your floor.
Okay, good day to everybody. We have 2 nights worth of games. We will start with the final scores and key stats for Tuesday, April 6, 2017. There was a total of 6 games. We will start with Game 1, the Chicago Bulls and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Bulls wins this game 102-90. Jimmy Butler, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Game 2, Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic. Orlando wins this game 115-107. Game 3, Milwaukee Bucks, Indiana Pacers. Pacers wins this game 104-89. The Pacers take control with a 13-0 run in the third quarter. Game 4, the Washington Wizards, New York Knicks. Wizards wins this game in a close one, 106-103. John Wall and Bradley Beal combined for 49 points. Bradley Beal, 25 points. John Wall, 24 points. Game 5, the Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks. Hawks wins this game 123-116. Paul Millsap, 26 points, 12 rebounds, in reserve role. Game 6, in the last game of the night, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers wins this game 105-98. Blazers limit the Timberwolves to just 3 for 23 shooting in the fourth quarter. And now we go to last night's games, April 7th, 2017. There was a total of 9 games. We will start with Game 1, the Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Hawks win this game 114-100. Tim Hardaway Jr., 15 to 22 points in the fourth quarter. Game 2, Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors. The Raptors wins this game in a close one, 96-94. DeMar DeRozan, Raptors record of 31, his 31st 30-point game. Game 3, the New York Knicks, Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis wins this game 101-88. The Grizzlies clinched the number 7 seed, and they will play the Spurs in the playoffs, first round. Game 4, Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets. Pistons wins this game 114-109. Boban Marjanovic, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Game 5, the Battle of the Texas, San Antonio Spurs, Dallas Mavericks. Spurs wins this game 102-89. Bryn Forbes, career high of 27 points off the bench. Game 6, New Orleans Pelicans, Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets wins this game 122-106. Jamal Murray, career high 30 points. Game 7, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Utah Jazz. The Jazz wins this game 120-113. The Jazz clinched the first division title since the 2007-2008 season. Game 8, Oklahoma City Thunder defeated Phoenix Suns. Suns wins this game 120-99. Russell Westbrook seals season average triple doubles. Congratulations to him. And the final game, Game 9, Sacramento Kings, Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers wins this game in a close one, 98-94. These are your final scores and key stats for April 6th and the 7th of 2017.
All right, there you have it. There are your final scores from the previous nights, I believe from the 7th and the 8th. All right, let's go ahead and stick with the Pacers. So let's take a look at some analysis from the Pacers win against the Milwaukee Bucks. This is pretty interesting. And me and Darren did say that the Pacers was going to win, and Milwaukee did have a chance to actually sweep this Pacers team, but they failed on that 13-0 run in the third quarter. So yeah, that was a pretty big win for the Pacers. But let's take a look at the analysis portions of it there in the show floor.
Okay. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just had to make sure because I can't see if I'm on mute or not. One note that I want to make about this game before I go into the reason why that they won this game. One of the main reasons why that the Pacers won this game the other night is I said it when the Pacers played against Cleveland, and I'm going to say it again. Lance Stephenson is the reason why this team is running back on track again. They feeding off his energy, and his energy is the reason why this team is a fast-paced, momental team that head coach Larry Bird always wanted. So now that he got it, this is what's going on. Lance Stephenson has sparked this team in so many different ways where everybody was like, this was not a good idea. I didn't think it was a good idea, but I knew it was a good move because he was the man, even when the Pacers had that traditional lineup of a big man, two big men, and a small forward and two guards. When they did that traditional Larry Bird, Boston Celtics era in that time. And even though now that they are a fast-paced team, this is a whole nother ball game right here. Taking a look at some of these stats, one thing that I wanted to point out in this game is this. They won all 4 quarters. That's the number one key. They won all 4 quarters. That's the first thing to spot out. Second thing that they did to win this game is this. They've just flat out just played defense. 1 second. They played defense, causing havoc on the floor, especially in the third quarter. Take a look at this. 15 steals, and Milwaukee had 21 turnovers in this game. That's the kind of defense that you're going to need to play if you want to win this game and get back into this playoff hunt. You play defense, and they played it so well. They played it well. Now, considering that Milwaukee did shoot 47% from the field and 46% from the three-point line and went to the free throw line 14 times and made 86% of their free throws, that defense of Milwaukee not taking care of the basketball is one of the main reasons why that the Pacers was able to capitalize off of their turnovers. And the Pacers didn't really have too much points off of turnovers, but considering that they just threw Milwaukee off their game. They just threw them off and just did not sink, especially in the second half. They just did not sink. So you can hit your shots all day. If you cannot connect, then you're not going to be able to win the game. And then another reason,
especially to carry that basketball.
Yeah. And then one of the keys that I said about the Pacers, one of the keys that I said for the Pacers to win this game is this. What I'm doing here is this. Defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, and rebounds total. Pacers in all the rebounding categories outdid the Milwaukee Bucks. They kept Greg Monroe and that Milwaukee Bucks team off the boards. No one grabbed over 10 boards for the Milwaukee Bucks. No one. It was 10 or under.
Wow.
So that was one of their big keys that I said they were going to need to do in order to go win the game.
Absolutely.
Stop them from grabbing boards, and that's exactly what they did.
They maintained their energy. So yeah, that's the big thing.
They maintained their energy, and although the Pacers once again, they shot poorly from the field, from the 3-point line. Excuse me. Although they shot poorly from the 3-point line, they still managed to do 2 things: take points in the paint and 15-footers convert them into points and convert at the free throw line when good passing came into the picture.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
That's how the Pacers won. Pacers scored 40 points in the paint. 40 points in the paint. The rest of their points came either off three-pointers or basic foot jumpers. To me, that's enough to be able to win the game, and that's exactly what they did the other night to win this game. Congratulations to the Pacers. They are really on a hot roll. More than I didn't think there was going to be. I thought they playoffs chances was gone. I said that when they were
so did I.
Play, who was it? I think it was. I want to say it was Toronto. Yeah, when they started to play Toronto at Bankers Life is when I thought their playoff hopes was about to really just go shattered. But then when Lance Stevenson came in, that was a second thought for me. When Larry Bird was like, let's just bring Lance Stevenson in, and that changed the whole momentum for them. So that's really a big deal for Indiana, and that gets me to a point where I think that Paul George might just stay because of Lance Stevenson.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest about that whole deal. I didn't think Bird wanted Lance Stevenson back, and the only reason why Bird brought Lance Stevenson back was because of Paul George. Mm-hmm. And Bird has to sit down and realize now that Lance Stevenson is the key to the Pacers' success.
Yep.
And like you said, during the traditional lineup that they had with the two bigs, your small forward, and your two guards, mm-hmm. when they had that tradition, Lance Stevenson was still their factor. Mm-hmm. He was still their factor in the reason why they had so much success. You know, it wasn't Roy Hibbert. You know, it wasn't David West. Paul George was enlightening, but it wasn't that. It was between Lance Stevenson and Paul George.
Well, Roy Hibbert was so distracted off of Lance Stevenson, he wasn't focused. You have young guys like Miles Turner, Thaddeus Young. He ain't young, but you know
he's a veteran.
He's a veteran, but he knows how to handle himself when it comes down to a player that brings so much energy, like Lance Stevenson. They don't let little things like that distract them, like how Roy Hibbert did.
Yeah,
and that's your other key in order for you to handle a guy like Lance Stevenson. Now, Lance Stevenson has really changed his tune on the behalf of motivating the team. He's really has changed his tune. I'm impressed. But most NBA players that are veterans do not take that so well.
Right.
But this is a young team, so now it changes. It shifts a whole lot now because those young players usually feed off of stuff like that.
And I think it really started with Lance Stevenson. It wasn't against Cleveland, but when Lance Stevenson mm-hmm. did what he did against the Raptors, mm-hmm. it's what ignited the Pacers' energy.
His slick passing.
Mm-hmm. It's slick passing, and then then Toronto Raptors getting mad at him for doing that layup within the 6 seconds of the game. It got under their skin. It sparked the Pacers. That got them cropped.
That makes me think of Dennis Rodman.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That makes me think of Dennis Rodman and what he used to do.
Absolutely.
Little crazy things to get inside a player's skin. Alonzo Mourning, Karl Malone. Who else was it?
There's a whole bunch of people there. We could be naming all day.
Yeah, we could be naming all day, but I don't remember him getting – well, he probably did get under the skin of some Indiana Pacers players, but he didn't do it as bad as he did a team like Miami or Utah.
Right. It was more Utah and Miami.
Yeah, the Pacers matched up very well against them, and mm-hmm. and they had Larry Bird and Larry Brown. But Larry Bird, particularly I think it was in his second year, which he's now going on to his 10th year coaching. He had that momentum spark Larry Bird did for the Pacers when he coached. Back in
you're talking about his first tenure, right?
Yeah, his first tenure.
Okay.
Before he came back in his second tenure. I call it 10 years altogether because I believe he was still coaching while he was gone too. He had that momentum flow where he knew how to handle a player like Dennis Rodman. He knew he knew what he had to do. He knew what Jordan was doing when he created contact in the last minutes of the game to draw fouls, stuff like that. and I think that was probably the reason why that Dennis Rodman couldn't get into some of those Pacers' heads, because they had a trash talk himself like Larry Bird, and he handled a person like Dennis Rodman.
And you also got to remember, Bird used to play against Rodman plenty of times during this tenure between 87 through, I think, 91.
Yeah.
92 when he retired.
Yep.
So that's about
Detroit.
4 or 5. Yeah.
I want to say Detroit
and
San Antonio.
Yeah. So Bird knew exactly what to do with him because his play style never had changed. So Bird knew what to do with him.
Yeah.
It was just that Jordan he had a more harder time with, but Reggie Miller wasn't the defensive type of guy.
But even at that, Reggie Miller was a trash talker. He's a trash talker himself, so he knew how to handle that. He knew how to handle that.
But remember, he couldn't talk trash to Jordan anymore.
No, and Jordan didn't talk trash to him. So it was all about the team respect. That was more of team respect on that behalf than anything.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about that. Here's, of course, we're going to stick with the Pacers as usual. We're going to take a look at tonight's matchup. We got the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers. We mentioned this during our analysis during the Pacers and Bucks, that the Pacers are on the hot road. Darrell said it, they're on the hot road. It seemed like the Pacers' chances of securing a playoff spot, rather if it's the 8th, 7th, or the 6th seed, it's getting up there because Milwaukee lost strings of games in a row. Even though Chicago has won some games, they still have to battle out a hot Pacer team. And Miami, they're in and out inconsistently of winning or losing, like how the Pacers was back earlier in the month. And things are starting to look positive in the aspect of the Pacers on how they're playing real good basketball, as we always preached about, in addition to Lance Stevenson. So with that being said, I want to take a look at a couple of notes real quick. The last meeting between these two teams was, of course, February 1st of 2017. The Pacers pulled out a 10-point win, 98-88. With the balanced effort with the Pacers, 9 players have scored between 8 and 16 points. C.J. Miles had a high of 16 points. He went 4 for 5 from downtown. And Glenn Robinson III, he had 14 points and 7 rebounds coming off the bench. And even though that Glenn Robinson III is hurt and he hasn't played, this team are still sparking some kind of fire without him. Well, of course, Lance Stevenson, that's a big change in perspective from February up until tonight, April 8th. Serge Ibaka, he led the Magic with 20 points. Did he play with Toronto now?
Serge Ibaka?
Yeah. Or he's still with the Magic? Okay.
No, he plays with – no, that was just the stats from when he was with Orlando. He was with Orlando before.
And then he got traded. Okay.
It was right before the trade deadline. So, yeah, this is just his stats from when he was with Orlando.
Okay. And now I got confused because I didn't know if that was actually – if it was that way one around, if he was with the Magic, got traded to the Raptors, or he was playing with the Raptors and got traded to the Magic.
Nah, he was playing with the Magic. That's right. They got his picture of him in the Raptors uniform now.
Right. Okay. Oh, he traded for Terrence Ross. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, Serge Ibaka led the Magic with 20 points and 9 boards. Nikola Vucevic, he recorded a double-double with 15 points and 15 rebounds in that loss. Well, key right there. I'm just going to say that. Check.
That was one of them.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that one.
That was one of them.
And to note, with the win tonight on Saturday, the Pacers will sweep the season series with Orlando for the 3rd time ever and the first time in a 4-game series. Indiana swept 3-game series with the Magic in 2005, 2006, and 2014 and 2015 seasons. The Pacers have won 10 of their last 11 games against the Magic overall. Indiana has won 5 consecutive road games at the Amway Center. The Magic last beat the Pacers at home on February 9, 2014.
It's been a minute. Wow.
Yeah, this is a big deal for the Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, look like the Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls are going to have to get down on their knees and pray tonight if they want the Magic to beat the Pacers because they are looking good.
And considering Miami is playing the Wizards, so that's going to be a matchup tonight.
That
game time is 8:00, and then who else you said? You said Milwaukee?
No, I said Miami. I said Miami and Chicago.
Now Chicago will have an advantage because they play the Nets.
Okay.
They'll have an advantage.
Well, as long as
them losing Miami losing the other night kind of Chicago.
Chicago is the one that the Pacers should be more concerned about because they're the one with the tie going into playoff scenarios.
So the Bulls have got to lose this game tonight in order for the Pacers to rehold this a spot. Now, I don't know if they actually will own it even after the Bulls lose. I think didn't the Bulls beat the Pacers in the season series?
Yes, they did. But if Milwaukee continues to lose and the Pacers continue to win, then it won't matter at that point.
Because they'll take over the 7th seed and Milwaukee will have the 8th seed.
Right. Or if at that they drop down to the 9th.
Yeah.
It could do that. Just like that, because like you said, you got two teams tied for the
8th spot.
Yep. So it could go down quickly. Like I said, Milwaukee has lost a couple of strings of games, so this is not looking good for them.
No.
This is not looking good for them. It's getting better for the Bulls and the Pacers, but it's not looking good for the Bucks.
No. Or the Heat.
Exactly right. And I feel for them because they work so hard to get back all the way up to where they're at now. So that is a good run. It's still a good run, and they still got chances. Still got chances.
Yeah.
Before I actually get to the other portion of this, I want to take a look at the injuries to report. Glenn Robinson III, of course, he is out with a sore left calf. The Pacers really needed him, but what matter does this poll make now? Now, this is a blow for the Magic. Evan Fournier, he is questionable with a sore right wrist. I doubt he's playing because I don't think he has played the last couple of games.
Yeah, he would have been their contributor to that three-point line. He hurts them for that three-point line.
And he hurt them in 2K. So he hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Green, he is out with a sore lower back. And projected starters for tonight's games, you got for the Magic, Elfrid Payton and Jody Mix is the 1 and 2. Terrence Ross is your 3. Aaron Gordon and Nikola Vucevic is your 4 and 5. And for the Pacers, you have Jeff Teague and Monte Ellis is your 1 and 2. Paul George is your 3. Thaddeus Young and Miles Turner is your 4 and 5. Question: do you think Lance Stevenson should at least get a starting spot before the start of the playoffs?
Nope.
I thought so. I agree.
Leave him on the bench and let him come off and get that spark for that team. That's his role right now. Leave it like that.
I agree.
Leave it like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If Nate McMillan try to fix something that ain't broke, never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So that is the projected starters for tonight's game. Okay. Before we do anything else, I want to take a look at the 2K stats from what I did with the Pacers and the Magic for all the 2K fans out there.
Before you do that, because I don't want to spoil it. Okay. Looking at the analysis for this game real quick, I'm just going to be really, really quick.
Okay.
3 things to keep in mind for this game tonight in order for the Pacers to win. In order for them to win, I have 3 key stats here. Well, 3 keys to victories for the Pacers, and one of them is to keep Orlando off the boards, especially Nikola Mirovic. He has 15 rebounds in, of course, the previous game. You talked about that. And then the other 2 is maintaining the ball, committing less turnovers. That's one key. And then the other part, the last part of it, no, that's it. Only had 2. Maintaining the ball, committing less turnovers. The Pacers had 17 turnovers off of Orlando's 12 steals in that last game. Although they won that last game, it's still not acceptable because that could turn deadly real quick. So you want to be able to maintain the ball and see them as the flip, like how they did with Milwaukee. Steal the ball, get them more committed turnovers, and keep them off sync. Them are my two keys to victory right there. Let's see that card, see what we got here, see if that compares to anything that I have.
Okay, here it is, Darren. Here's your points in the paint right here. Pacers had 54 points in the paint. Orlando had 22.
So, wow.
Yeah.
They towed them up.
There's your rebounds.
41. They had a total of 50-something rebounds altogether.
Yeah, but the Pacers probably had, I think, 56.
Yeah, they got to keep Orlando off those boards.
Mm-hmm. Well, that might not be 56. That might be 54. Sorry.
Very interesting.
So, yeah, these are the two right here. And I just want to point out a couple things real quickly.
That turnovers.
Yep. Your turnovers.
Pacers had 8. Orlando had 12, but Orlando still won this game.
Yep.
They shot better from the three-point line.
Mm-hmm. Biggest leads.
Tied at 8. But they committed more fouls. That probably what hurted them more than anything.
Well, that depends.
Oh, yeah, well.
The Pacers has shot 92.
Something happened in this game. I don't know what it was. Something happened in this game. Something happened.
Here, let me tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because the Pacers had an advantage on everything, almost just about any and everything. What happened in this game for them to lose?
What happened in this game? 1, 2.
Okay, I would say more of the 3-pointers than I would the field goals.
Well, the reason why I say it is the field goals because if you take a look, I did have snapshots for the whole entire, of course, the total games, the first quarter, second quarter, first half, third quarter, fourth quarter, and second half. But I have to look for that. Plus, I ain't got my USB drive on me either. But what had happened was that Orlando had dominated the first half. They dominated the first half, and the Pacers had got off to a very slow start.
So I see from the 3-point line. That would probably be a contributing factor.
And that's what it was because Paul George only hit 2 3-pointers in the first half, 2 or 3, and everybody else didn't hit none. They converted. I mean, they had attempts, but they didn't actually
hit them.
Exactly. CJ Miles attempted, I think, 1 or 2. Monte Ellis attempted 1. Thaddeus Young. Well, actually, he was probably another one that hit 1. In the first half. But yeah, but then the Pacers came out stronger in the second half.
That's Spark. It's that Spark.
But that last 2 minutes of that game was a good one. The Pacers came back because they was down 8 with under 2 minutes. They collected, I think, 4 stops in a row, and then Monte Ellis hit the go-ahead 3-point bucket to take the lead. And then that's when Nikola Vucevic, wide open at the corner, busted a jumper. Here out the building. So
here at the building.
The Pacers lost.
Oh, well, on that behalf, yeah. The
Pacers lost. So yeah, that in that aspect, that is how that went down. All right, like I said.
I do not agree with this.
Yep.
I got the Pacers winning this game tonight.
Me too.
I do not agree with this. I got the Pacers winning this game tonight.
So do I. Ain't no way in the world that the Pacers should not lose this game. And looking at the stats from 2K, it may not mean anything, but the stats pretty much compare closely or right accurate with the NBA stats. Mm-hmm. If then you just look at all these stats here, what do you have to beat? The Pacers straight up, like you said, Darren.
They dominated
the Orlando Magic.
They dominated them.
all around, just all around. Bench points, assists.
Yeah.
The only thing is that they had more offensive rebounds.
That's probably what hurt him. That's probably what hurt him right there. Is that offensive rebounds?
Well, they could. Well.
In the first half.
Yeah.
In the first half, probably, but in the second half, that's probably what sparked their comeback because they stopped grabbing offensive boards.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So So there you have it. There you have it right there for that portion.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was your preview analysis and predictions for tonight's games. All right. Headlines for the sports world. We're going to take a look at the NBA. Of course, Darrell mentioned this during the final scores and stats of the night. Russell Westbrook has clinched the season average of triple doubles. Congratulations to him. He has worked hard, and undoubtedly, in my personal opinion, I believe he has secured a good spot for the MVP. Period.
Agreed.
He has, and not to mentioning losing Kevin Durant, he could have went downhill. He stayed with the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
He became a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's the new man in season average triple doubles.
Hey man, you got Kevin Durant to thanks for getting out the beast in him. You got Kevin Durant to thank for that, without a shot.
And I'm sorry. And in my personal opinion, he could thank him in a negative aspect. That made Russell Westbrook better.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't. It was more of in that aspect where when Kevin Durant left, that just left room for improvement for Russell Westbrook. So that was a big move that Kevin Durant did. Now he's sitting on the sidelines while Russell Westbrook's still out here playing for his prospective team.
Which speaks of Kevin Durant, he has practiced and he is set to play on Saturday.
No comment. Moving on. No comment.
What do you think about this, Darren? Adam Silver has touched up on resting players. And also for the Charlotte for the All-Star game, but I'm not worried about that. But he touches up on resting players. My connection is slow. Give me 1 second. But he has touched up on the issues of resting players and the All-Star game for Charlotte in 2019. Because it was funny, before I get to it, it was funny on how Steve Kerr and Dennis Rodman had said some things about, I think it was LeBron James and him resting. Dennis Rodman was talking about Michael Jordan in the aspect that man never rested. That's what he was talking about. Dennis Rodman was saying, look, Jordan never rested during the season. Never. He laid it all out there on the floor. He came in, he played, he started, and that's how they won 6 titles. Steve Kerr, on the other hand, decided he wanted to take an attack on what Rodman said. Because now Steve Kerr is the guy that will rest his players, and he's done it before during his head coaching career. Resting Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and I think it was Draymond Green. He attacked Rodman and said that, hey, Rodman got suspended for most of the times with the Bulls. So he had plenty of rest time. So he really has no room to be talking about LeBron James.
Dennis Rodman wasn't talking about
exactly.
Himself. He was talking about Jordan.
Talking about Jordan. Exactly. Why are you attacking Rodman?
See, why are you talking? Because some people can't read between the lines. Some people cannot read between the lines. Dennis Rodman was not talking about himself. He wasn't. It's not like that. Dennis Rodman talked about that. He said he went out there and played every single game. Then that would be a whole other ballgame. Then yeah, you can say what you got to say. But because you went out there and said that, you did not justify the fact for what you said about Dennis Rodman, because Dennis Rodman wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Had nothing to do with Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman just put his 2 cents in. Of course, Steve Kerr did too, because he felt that was his way of doing it since they were teammates with the Bulls.
Right. And I felt that why would you even go to the aspect of attacking Rodman when Rodman was talking about Jordan and LeBron James? You know what I'm saying? And not to mentioning, Tracy McGrady's not a fan of it. He's not a fan of it. He's not a fan of, coaches resting players.
What a lot of people don't understand is that when you put players in when you put teams in a back-to-back schedule, that does take a toll and an impact on your fatigue. Now, like Will Walker said, it's all about advertising the players on primetime TV. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that. That's what David Stern did, which is why this never was a problem. Mm-hmm. And now it becomes a problem because now you're putting these teams on back-to-back days, and one of them days happened to be that second day happened to be a national game TV. Now you can't even rest your players after even playing the previous day. And now you make it a big issue about players resting, but you don't even have good teams playing on national TV. So let's think about and go back and see where this all falls on. Let's see where this falls on. This has nothing to do with the coaches resting their players. This ain't got nothing to do with it. I certainly do not want to see Brooklyn
playing
Philadelphia on national TV. I don't want to see that. I mean, 9 days with today's NBA, I don't really want to see anybody on national TV. The NBA ain't the same to me no more.
Not being funny. The only national TV I can accept them playing poor teams is NBA TV. That's the only national TV I can accept. ESPN and TNT. They have to put better teams on.
They have to. They can't keep doing this. They can't keep doing it.
But here's the thing with Silver. They are going to do what they can. Like I said, I'm just a message boy. This is Silver, not me. The NBA is going to do the best they can in eliminating the 4 games and 5 nights. That was the whole address of resting players. He didn't say anything about national TV, nothing of the sort. Just resting 4 players, 4 games and 5 nights. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very fun stuff. So that I think that's all I have for. Oh, not like I understand this whole ordeal, but the NBA is expanding last 2 minutes reports and playoffs. I looked at the article, I read the article, and I still can't comprehend it. So, yes, I do have some comprehension problems when I don't understand things. I will say that. I admit that. Good for me.
But what are you talking about?
The NBA expanding last 2 minute reports in playoffs.
Last minute reports? Wow. I never got to read the article.
I read the article. I
have no idea what that. I mean, I just didn't read.
I have to get my hands more dirtier in order, because, like I said, I just read the article. I really didn't actually get to the nitty gritty, take notes, write things down.
Well, I never even knew that it was an article, so I have no idea what that is. So,
yeah. So that's the whole ordeal with that. Yeah, that's all I pretty much got. Oh, and besides Brandon Jennings, he said that the Carmelo Anthony trade talk had took toll on Knicks. I totally disagree with this ordeal because, number one, y'all was already struggling before that. And 2, y'all struggled at the beginning of the season. And 3, y'all still struggling. So that don't make sense to me, but I'm not an NBA player.
Of course.
So. All right. That's the headlines for the NBA. Okay. NFL. Desmond Trufant and the Atlanta Falcons has agreed to his 5-year extension. That deal is worth $69 million with $42 million guaranteed. So he will remain a Falcon. That is a source that was told from NFL Network's Mike Garofalo. So payday for him, good for him. Steelers fans, Ben Roethlisberger will be back for the 2017 season. Big ups to him. Former Super Bowl winner and scouter Derek Jensen died at 60. Condolences to him and his family. Mm-hmm. Of course, and this is a suspicion, of course, Marshawn Lynch coming back from retirement. Could he be the actual missing piece to the Raiders title run? That's a big question there, which of course I think it is. I think that's if he goes back to the same way that he actually did before he retired with the Seahawks, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could be the possible missing piece. Mm-hmm. He could be the possible missing piece. And Adrian Peterson, he is set to visit the Saints. I believe that is today. He left New England with nothing, so he is on his way to New Orleans to visit the Saints and see what they got up their sleeves, which I don't think he's going to get anything from that deal either. I think his better shot is the AFC. I don't like that, but yes. Okay, that is the NFL side. MLB, the Royals got their first win of the season. After a 3-run eighth inning, they got their first run. Texas Rangers got their first victory off of a grand slam and 6 RBIs. And, that's it for that ordeal. So then we get headlines from the sports world, NBA, NFL, and MLB. All right, final thoughts. Darren, you got anything?
Of course not.
Neither do I. Well, actually, I do. Just one thing. I'm starting to see a lot more now that the police cars are driving on one headlight. I'm just throwing it out there. I have started to see that a lot. I have seen 3. I kid you not. I cannot make this up. 3 sheriff's cars driving on one headlight.
And they are practically the ones that like to pull cars over for a headlight out.
Yes. And I've seen one Indiana State Police car driving on one headlight.
Sound about right.
And then I've seen one IMPD car driving with a left brake light out.
That sounds about right.
Can't win. We can't win.
Can't win.
Can't win at all, man.
Nope. Sure can't.
But that's it for me, man. I promise. That's all I got. Now we go ahead and get on out of here. I just had to get that out there. I thought I was going to bust if I didn't say anything.
Okay.
All right. That is another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. If you like what you see, you get a video a thumbs up. Of course, if how you feel about today's show, you can comment on the comment section below as usual. Help yourself to anything on that. But until then, I'm Darrell. Darren's on the opposite side.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then, ciao. Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Darrell Watts. As many of you know, me and Darren enjoy talking sports and giving out stats, but we also enjoy entertaining while doing it. So with that being said, you can check us out on the social media side and get more involved in our podcast. We're on Twitter at DTST2414, or you like us on Facebook, Double Take Sports Talk page at The Watch Brothers. We're also on YouTube. Like, share, do what you got to do with that. Once again, we don't mind. Also, we are finally back on the podcast app for audio only purposes for those who enjoy audio only of our podcast. We're also on the blog, feature critical thinking of analysis, and you can check that out at doubletakesportstalk.blogspot.com. Thanks again.
Glass cleaner. That's the dude Darrell gonna be guarding. I think it's Darrell. Yeah, it's Darrell. Oh my goodness. Get out of here, dude.
Swatted your shit, man. Dude, you swatted his shit so bad you could took those tweezers and plucked the hair off his face. Oh, dang.
Pick a popper.
Oh, dang.
Has got to be under there. Help grab them boards. Can't do nothing.
All right. Slow as a turtle, still went past.
Mm-hmm. Word.
You know you ain't getting that.
Presence in the paint really help. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Are you serious? I
That
don't
was
want the
my
ball
board.
anymore. I don't want the ball anymore.
Yes, you do.
Two open shots, and my dude sitting up here throwing motherfucking brick out.
It's all good. It happens.
Buckets. Ooh.
My bad.
Word to it. Tuesday Memorial Day, my nigga go.
Okay. I couldn't pass up that opportunity. Sorry.
Yeah. I had to make sure I stepped in the line this time.
Word.
Make sure y'all do what y'all do to me all the time. Shoot, drop me up a wall.
Dang, my bad.
I had no idea he was throwing up an alley-oop.
I was trying to figure out what they was doing.
Yeah. Good shot. My bad.
Dang.
That's my bad.
Oh, that's some bullshit. I should have had that block. Six on the board.
Yep.
Oh, good save. Good save again.
Hell,
And one.
I
I
seen the
feel you.
dude sitting near you, man. I was afraid that he was gonna steal it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you good? I'd rather be out down there.
Ooh, yeah.
That's you.
Buckets.
You got it better.
Yes,
Down.
sir.
You got him better.
Sit him
You
down.
always do.
Thank you for that pass.
You always respond. You always respond.
Stop that.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
My pro badge.
That superpower got activated.
Word.
Oh, Power
Shit
Ranger.
just got real.
Yeah. Whoops.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We needed that.
We got plenty of options.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm.
Slasher ain't the same. See, the gentleman just left as soon as they seen we were winning.
Oh. Nope.
Game winner?
Yep. Man, word. What's up?
Mm. I don't know why. Every time I hear this song, I was like, I get tired of hearing it, but I hear it so much on here. I heard it on the radio one day. I was out with Zach.